After 15 long years, a billionaire's incredible love for his black queen is finally revealed. The summer sun beat down on the small Midwestern town, casting long shadows as families gathered for the annual festival. Laughter mixed with the tantalizing aromas wafting from food stalls, while children darted about, their joyful screams punctuating the air. In this perfect backdrop of celebration, Marcus, a 32-year-old mechanic, stood alone near the gleaming vintage cars that he had lovingly restored. Each one reflected not just his expertise, but also his heart, a heart that belonged to Leah, an artist with dreams too big for their tight-knit community. Marcus knew Leah was special. Her talent shone through in every brushstroke she made, and while he had poured countless hours into perfecting engines of steel, it was her passion that truly captivated him. Deep down, beneath the layer of grease and grime, Marcus nursed feelings for Leah that went unspoken. He admired her grace, her resilience, and the way she confronted a world burdened by prejudices that threatened to stifle her dreams. And yet, here he was, a humble mechanic, dwarfed by the thought of telling her how he felt. This year felt different. With the community event looming, Marcus braced himself to finally confess his feelings. The festival would be the perfect stage, a celebration of talent where Leah could soar. This was a moment of hope. Yet, just as he built the courage to approach her, Jack returned. The billionaire, the prodigal son of their town, with his flashy clothes and an entourage of empty promises, made a grand entrance that sent ripples of excitement through the crowd. "Leah!" Jack called, his voice dripping with arrogance. "I'm back to take you to the city. Let us turn your art into a fortune." That thunderous announcement echoed in Marcus's ears, overshadowing the cheers of the townspeople. The warmth of community transformed into cold reality, and for a moment, envy twisted in Marcus's gut. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Life in the Midwestern heart of their town had always been about hard work, integrity, and family values. Now, Marcus found himself wrestling with the very essence of those principles. Was he enough? Did Leah see him? The thought of Jack, with his wealth, sweeping her off to the city made Marcus's heart race with a mix of despair and fury. The crowd's whispers pierced the air like a knife as he confronted Jack. "This isn't just a game for her," Marcus said, voice tense as he stood tall against the billionaire's smug grin. "This is about her art, her dreams, not some fairy tale where you ride in on a white horse." As Marcus spoke, the warmth of the community rallied around him, their whispers shifting into cheers, a chorus of support that made the weight of his heartache momentarily lighter. But doubt still lurked in his mind. Could he really compete with Jack's promises of the world beyond? Facing Leah, standing amidst the swirling crowd, Marcus felt time freeze. What would she choose? Would her heart lean towards the familiarity of friendship and community, or the allure of wealth and grandeur? The heart of the town pulsed with expectation, but so did his own, leaving him to question whether love could ever truly conquer all. The air around them crackled with tension. Leah's eyes darted from Marcus to Jack, confusion and uncertainty mingling on her face. At that moment, the noise of the festival faded into a blurred symphony of drums and laughter, replaced by the steady beat of Marcus's heart, thundering in his chest. Jack continued to smirk, confident in his wealth and stature. "You really think you can give her what she needs, Marcus? A small-town mechanic versus a multi-million-dollar life?" His voice dripped with condescension, each word a calculated jab aimed directly at Marcus's insecurities. Marcus clenched his fists, the heat rising in his cheeks. "It's not just about the money, Jack. It's about understanding her, supporting her dreams. You think showing up with fancy cars and promises means anything? You don't know Leah. The conviction in his voice surprised even himself, as if the adrenaline had finally chiseled away at fears he'd kept hidden for so long. A flicker of surprise danced in Jack's eyes, but he quickly masked it. You're right, I don't know her. He turned back to Leah, his tone shifting to something softer, more seductive. But I can help her shine brighter than this little town ever could. I can give her the world. Leah stared at both men, caught between supportive loyalty and the dazzling temptation of a new life. Marcus could see the flicker of interest in her gaze, perhaps even hunger for the opportunities Jack represented. But he needed her to know him, to remember the quiet moments they shared, the laughter, the joy of late-night conversations about dreams that seemed out of reach. What do you really want, Leah? Marcus asked, stepping closer. Do you want to leave behind everything that makes you, you? He gestured around the festival, the vibrant community, the friends and family who had always believed in her. Her eyes softened, the inner conflict evident in her furrowed brows. I want so much more than what this town offers, Marcus. But her voice trembled. But I don't want to hurt anyone either. Marcus's heart sank, but he fought against the wave of despair threatening to pull him under. Then don't. You don't have to choose. He took another step forward, vulnerability pouring out with each word. I've always believed in you, Leah. Let us figure this out together. Don't let Jack's flashiness blind you to what really matters. The crowd was watching, and he could feel their eyes on him, expectant, hopeful. Would they witness betrayal or courage? Would Leah see his heart laid bare before her and recognize the deep love that had blossomed over the years? Jack's expression darkened, clearly realizing that he was losing his grip. You think you can stand in my way? I'll make Leah a star. The threat hung in the air, thick with tension. Maybe she doesn't want to be a star in your world. Marcus shot back, feeling a newfound strength rise within him. Maybe she'd rather be true to herself. For a moment, the tension was electric as Leah stood between them, contemplating the path before her. The shadows of the festival loomed large, yet glimmers of light danced in her eyes. What would she decide? The moment stretched, silence enveloping the crowd, the only sounds her quickening breath and the pounding of Marcus's heart. And then, she opened her mouth, words ready to bridge the chasm between them. But before they could reach her ears, a sudden commotion erupted at the edge of the fairgrounds. Gasps swept through the crowd, pulling everyone's attention away from the brewing storm. What just happened? Marcus whispered, adrenaline still thrumming through him as he turned toward the source of the outcry. Leah's hand fluttered over her mouth, eyes wide with concern. And in that pivotal moment, everything shifted. Would Jack use this distraction to claim Leah's heart? Or could Marcus seize this chance to show her what truly mattered? As the chaos unfolded, they all stood at a crossroads, ready to be propelled into choices that would define their fates. The festival wasn't over, and neither was the battle for Leah's heart. But what was that? Sudden commotion, and how would it change everything? The loud commotion grew, slicing through the tension like a knife, pulling Marcus and Leah's focus away from their conflict. People began to murmur, their eyes wide with a mix of alarm and curiosity. Marcus could feel his heart beating faster, not just from the previous confrontation with Jack, but now from the unease creeping through the throng of festival-goers. What's happening? Leah's voice trembled. Marcus could see the worry etched across her face, a stark contrast to the excitement that moments ago had ignited their disagreement. Suddenly, a figure barreled into view, a boy, no more than 10, darting through the adults who had gathered. His face was smeared with chocolate, and he wore a bright red t-shirt that seemed to pop against the brown dirt of the ground. He skidded to a halt in front of Leah and Marcus, panting. "Mom said the horse got loose." He pointed back toward the petting zoo, eyes swirling with panic. "It's running all over the fairgrounds." Gasps erupted from the crowd again, and a shiver of anxiety rippled through the attendees. Horses were beautiful, but they were wild, and the thought of one charging through the festival made Marcus's stomach drop. "Leah, we need to help," Marcus began, but Jack stepped forward, his smirk now replaced by a look of concern that felt surprisingly genuine. "I have to stop this, I'll get my car," Jack declared, already turning away, his earlier arrogance evaporating in the face of potential disaster. Leah hesitated, glancing back and forth between them, the confident billionaire and the steadying force of Marcus, who stood firm. "I can help too," Marcus said quickly. "But we need to keep people safe. Get everyone to move away from the path. We need to create a barrier so the horse doesn't panic anyone." Leah's expression brightened with resolve. "Right. Let us get the children and older folks to safety first." She was clear-headed now, her heart racing for an entirely different reason, fueled by the rush of responsibility. The previous weight of indecision fell away, replaced by mission. With a sense of urgency, Leah chased after the boy, her instincts kicking in. Marcus followed closely behind, determined. As they weaved through clusters of festival-goers, he felt the adrenaline blend with a sense of resolve. He was not going to allow fear to take over. It was time to be the hero Leah needed. "Over here." Leah called to a group of parents, her voice rising above the fray. "Let us form a line. Everyone, move back. We'll keep you safe." Marcus worked alongside her, his eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of the horse. Off in the distance, he could see a large chestnut mare galloping wildly, hooves thundering against the ground, creating a rhythm of chaos and urgency. "Think we can herd it toward the barn?" Marcus suggested, his mind racing to triage the situation. Leah nodded, determination flashing in her eyes, rekindling hope within him. Together they devised a plan, frantically signaling to nearby friends and festival workers to help corral the horse. Jack, now back in the picture, looked at the tension in Leah's face and offered a fleeting nod of respect. It was a moment of borrowed camaraderie. As the festival-goers began to move, the crowd parted, instinctively making way for the potential disaster. The further in they got, the clearer it became that they were on the precipice of something bigger than just their emotional confrontation. They were now part of a shared mission, and that feeling twinkled in Leah's eyes as she glanced back at Marcus, a flame of gratitude lighting her expression. Just as the horse neared, panic and fear erupted in the onlookers, and Marcus's heart raced. He knew the stakes had been raised. He grabbed a nearby rope, ready to intervene, but little did he know that this moment would not only test their courage but also redefine everything he felt for Leah and everything she thought she wanted. Would they save the horse and, in turn, find a deeper connection? Or would this chaotic moment fracture what was left of their fragile bond? A final scream cut through the air as something unexpected jolted them both, and they stood, frozen, about to plunge into fate's wild embrace. The chaos surged like a tidal wave as the chestnut mare barreled towards them, its indignant whinnies sounding like a battle cry. Marcus's instincts kicked in, and he felt Leah's presence beside him, electrifying. The animal's eyes were wide, filled with unbridled fear. Every instinct warning it to flee. "Focus, Marcus." Leah's voice cut through the noise, unwavering. "We need to be calm. We can't scare it more." He nodded, his heart drumming in time with the mare's hoofbeats. "We need to create a barrier with the rope. Can you signal to the others?" Without hesitation, Leah sprang into action. She raised her hands, waving to their friends who were gearing up to help. The way she commanded the crowd showed a strength he hadn't seen before, and his admiration for her grew deeper still. "Mind the children." Marcus called out to some parents who were still too close. They instinctively pulled their little ones away, eyes glued to the spectacle unfolding. The mare's mane flew in the wind like a wild banner, and for a moment, Marcus felt a strange kinship with the creature. It was raw, unencumbered, just like the very emotions that had been swirling between him and Leah. They both shared a drive, a yearning for freedom and safety amidst the turmoil surrounding them. As the mare took a sharp turn, Marcus sprinted ahead, using the rope to create a makeshift lasso. "I'll cut it off. Get behind me." Leah's eyes flared with determination as she followed his lead, her voice steady and clear. "Everyone else, form a line. If we can keep it on this path, we can lead it toward the barn together." The crowd generated a wave of movement, their collective voices helping to turn the tide. Confidence rushed through Marcus as he could see their plan taking form. With each stride toward the charging horse, his heart raced not just with fear, but pure exhilaration. It felt as if they were building something together, piece by piece. The mare skidded to the side, nearly toppling over, and fear twisted into panic. Marcus's instincts kicked in sharper. "We're not here to hurt you," he shouted, his tone soothing. He felt foolish, talking to an animal, yet it somehow made sense. To his right, Leah was calling to the other festival-goers, coordinating their movements with incredible poise. "Keep your voices low. Don't approach too fast." Marcus glanced at her, and everything within him shifted. Leah was becoming the heartbeat of the rescue, her willingness to face danger igniting something dormant in him. The stakes weren't just about the horse anymore, it was about their very connection, strained yet fiercely alive between them. The mare darted to the left, racing dangerously close to the edge of the crowd. Marcus could see panic flicker in the eyes of the people watching. "Now!" he shouted. In unison with Leah, they moved, creating a barrier just in time as the horse altered course. As it galloped toward them, every instinct screamed to retreat. But with a calmness that was palpable, Leah moved first, arms wide as if to embrace the wild spirit before them. "Easy now, girl, we're here to help." The mare slowed, disoriented but intrigued. It stopped, eyeing Leah, a mysterious bond forming in that fleeting moment. Suddenly, with a quick flick of her wrist, Leah tossed the rope, aiming for the horse's chestnut neck. "Got it!" Marcus cried out in relief, heart pounding joyfully. But before he could react further, a soft thud pulled his attention. The rope slipped from Leah's hands, and, in that instant, the mare bolted again. "No!" Marcus took off after it, heart racing not just for the horse, but for Leah too. The real disaster loomed if they couldn't bring it back. And deep within him flared the realization, sometimes, chaos breeds connection. As he chased the wild creature, having no idea the path may lead to something he never saw coming, he wondered if their rescue mission could save more than just a horse. Would they find their way back to each other, too? The thundering hooves echoed behind him, a reminder that everything hung in the balance, and just ahead, destiny awaited. Marcus sprinted faster, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The mare's hooves pounded the earth like a drum, each beat pulling him deeper into the chaos of moment. He could feel the eyes of the crowd on him, their mixture of hope and fear fueling his desire to succeed. Somehow, they were all in this together, linked by their shared urgency. Stay calm," he repeated to himself, narrowing his focus on the chestnut mare ahead. She looked like a fiery force unleashed, weaving through the throng of festival-goers. He could hear Leah's voice in the back of his mind, urging him forward. As the mare rounded a bend, Marcus quickly recalibrated his course. He was no longer just chasing a frightened animal, he was pursuing something deeper. He wanted to prove to Leah, to the crowd, and most importantly, to himself that he could handle the chaos. In the distance, he spotted a weathered fence at the edge of the barnyard. It stood there, a beacon of safety in an overwhelming sea of fear. If he could guide the mare toward it, they could trap her safely and end this madness. "Leah!" he yelled, hoping she could follow his thoughts. "We need to steer her to the barn." He glanced back and saw her, determination etched across her features. Leah was running too, her long hair streaming behind her like the mane of a horse. She was just as caught in the moment as he was, moving with grace and urgency. Together, they were an unstoppable force. The mare skidded towards the barn, panic still fluttering in her wide eyes. "Now's our chance." Marcus shouted, enthusiasm bursting in his chest. Leah caught up, breathless but focused. On 3. 1, 2, 3. They flanked the mare, each working in perfect rhythm. Leah's hand reached for the rope she'd just dropped. Marcus kept his gaze fixed on the horse's body language, waiting for the right moment to leap into action. The mare slowed and halted momentarily, chest heaving, tension still rippling like electricity through her muscles. It was as if she sensed a shift, the fear in her eyes was slowly giving way to curiosity. This was at the moment they had been fighting for. Easy now, Leah whispered, her voice a soothing balm. She crouched down, the rope clasped tightly in her hands. Marcus watched, transfixed by Leah's gentle demeanor. She embodied everything he had always admired but never had the courage to fully acknowledge. She was fierce, compassionate, and resilient, a queen in a world that often felt too chaotic, just like the mare before them. With a gentle toss, Leah brought the rope closer to the mare's neck. "Come on, girl," she coaxed, holding her breath. Then, in one graceful motion, the rope slipped over the mare and stayed secured. Marcus let out a whoop of joy, feeling the adrenaline surge throughout his body. They had done it. Relief washed over him, mingling with an exhilarating sense of pride. But as they both stood there, now anchored to this beautiful creature, Marcus realized something profound. In that moment of connection, of courage against chaos, something had shifted between him and Leah, binding their fates tighter than before. Suddenly, the crowd erupted in cheers. A wave of celebration echoed around them, but for Marcus, the noise faded into the background. He could only see Leah's smile, illuminated by the golden afternoon light. They had tamed the storm, and now the calm could wash over them. But just as they were about to share this triumph, a loud crack broke the moment, the sound of the barn door swinging open. Startled, the mare flailed against Leah's steady hold, pushing back into chaos once again. "What now?" Marcus questioned as the reality sank in. Peering into the barn, they spotted an unexpected figure, a tall, shadowy figure emerging, its intentions unknown. The newfound bond between Marcus and Leah hung in the balance, on the brink of discovery, as they prepared to face the next wave of surprises ahead. Could they really stay together through whatever was coming? The figure stepped closer, the sun barely illuminating their face. Marcus squinted, unsure of whether he should stand his ground or retreat. As the shadowy figure emerged from the darkness of the barn, he felt Leah tighten her grip on the mare, instinctively readying herself for whatever was about to unfold. "Who are you?" Marcus shouted, his voice carrying a mix of authority and uncertainty. The crowd's cheers faded into whispers, anxious curiosity hanging in the air. The figure straightened, and as the light caught their features, Marcus recognized the unmistakable face of Mr. Thompson, the owner of the property. A former horse trainer with a wild reputation, he had left the town years ago, trailing rumors and questions. Hearing whispers of his return had sent a shockwave through the community, yet no one had been sure if he would ever come back. "Marcus," Mr. Thompson said, his deep voice resonating like an echo from the past. "You've got a good heart, but you're meddling in things you don't understand." "What are you talking about?" Marcus retorted, confusion replacing anger. He gestured frantically toward the mare, still trembling under Leah's control. "She needs help." "We were just trying to help." Mr. Thompson interrupted, a sardonic smile curling across his lips. "This isn't about helping. It's about trust, training, and knowing boundaries. That mare is not just a horse, she's part of this land's legacy." Leah stepped forward, her voice resonating with courage. "And you left. We want to bring her back to safety, to a community where she's welcome. We care for her, not just as a horse but as a family member," Marcus finished, the words spilling out, fueled by his passion to protect. The crowd shifted, murmurs of agreement swept through. Mr. Thompson's expression changed, a flicker of something resembling respect crossing his features. "You've got guts, kid, I'll give you that. But it's not enough," he added, his tone now almost serious. If you want to keep that mare and succeed, you need to understand what happened to her before. She's carrying weight you can't imagine. Marcus glanced at Leah, whose brows furrowed with worry. Interpreting the unspoken message, Marcus felt the urgency to learn more. What did she go through? He asked, his voice steady, eyes locked on Thompson. That's not for me to say, Thompson replied cryptically. He turned his back towards them, taking a few steps towards the barn door. But if you're serious about this, meet me here tomorrow at dawn. I'll share what you need to know. Wait. Leah called out, her voice chasing the figure as he made his way back to the shadows of the barn. You can't just leave us like this. The silence that followed was heavy, filled with tension as the crowd processed Thompson's words. The mare shifted nervously, her trust wobbling. Marcus took a step toward Leah, fear creeping in. Do we even know if we can trust him? We have to, Leah replied, determination flaring in her eyes. For her, and for us. They stood there for a moment, every heartbeat vibrating with the weight of uncertainty. A battle ahead, they felt it, but also a flicker of hope. Tomorrow could change everything. But as darkness began to blanket the field, a deeper question lingered unspoken. Would knowing the truth pull them together or tear them apart? Dawn broke over the field, soft light streaming through the trees and washing over the barn. Marcus felt a mix of excitement and dread as he paced back and forth, glancing repeatedly at Leah. She was already there, her eyes scanning the horizon, waiting for Mr. Thompson, nerves barely kept at bay. Do you think he'll show? Marcus asked, pulling at the collar of his jacket, the cool air biting at his skin. Leah shrugged. He has to. We need answers. Her tone was firm, but Marcus caught the slight tremor in her voice. He felt it too, that pull of uncertainty, of what was to come. The mare stood quietly nearby, her dark coat glistening with dew. Somehow she seemed to understand the weight of the moment. As the sun climbed higher, they heard the unmistakable crunch of gravel under boots. Mr. Thompson emerged, silhouetted against the dawn light. There was no warmth in his expression, only the coolness of someone who had seen too much, lived too long in shadows. Good, he said, surveying them both with shrewd eyes. You made it. Of course we did, Marcus said, his voice steadier than he felt. You said you'd tell us what we need to know about her. Thompson nodded slowly, a flicker of approval crossing his features. All right, but it won't be easy to hear. The tension in the air was palpable. Leah moved closer to the mare, stroking its neck, as if trying to reassure them both. Years ago, this land was part of something bigger, a competition, Thompson began, his gaze drifting into the distance. Your mare was a star in that world. But the pressure it twisted people. Greed took over. There were accidents. Horses were pushed too far. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. Accidents? Like? Death, Thompson said flatly, his voice a rumble of thunder over the calm. Not just any death. She watched her friends falter. Trainers did things they shouldn't. After a while, they started hiding it in her. Leah's breath hitched. Hiding? From what? From the world. From trust, he replied sharply. She's been somewhere dark, and that darkness lingers. She carries the scars of that time, more than just the physical ones you see. To her, the world outside feels dangerous. Marcus stepped back, needing the space to process. So, she doesn't trust us, he murmured. And it's because of what happened back then? Thompson's eyes narrowed slightly. Exactly. Any bond you hope to build comes with patience. Trust must be earned all over again. Leah watched the mare, whose large eyes were filled with a mix of fear and curiosity. Slowly, she approached the horse, a gentle whisper escaping her lips. You're safe now. We'll make sure of it. Marcus felt a hopeful spark, igniting in his chest. So, what do we do? You start by helping her remember who she is outside of pain, Thompson answered, stepping forward. But it won't be straightforward. Prepare yourself for setbacks. Just when you think she's ready, fear may shadow her once more. Will we know what to do? Leah asked, desperation creeping into her voice. Only if you remain true to her and to each other, Thompson said, a hint of a challenge in his gaze. And if you can face the darkness that comes with the past. The air shifted, filled with unspoken promises and daunting tasks ahead. As Marcus and Leah shared a determined glance, he felt the weight of it all, the journey that lay ahead. This was more than just a fight for the Mare, it was a fight for their own understanding of trust and love. What if it's too much? Marcus questioned, fear creeping back in. It'll be worth it, Leah replied firmly. Anything worth having is. We'll face it together. But as they turned their attention back to Mr. Thompson, they couldn't shake off the voice in their heads whispering one final and burning question: what lengths would they go to in order to help the Mare and each other heal? Marcus took a deep breath, the air heavy with anticipation. The morning sun felt like a spotlight, illuminating their path but shining bright on the shadows lurking behind them. How do we start? He asked, his mind racing with possibilities. Thompson shifted, crossing his arms tightly over his chest, a fortress of experience. Begin with trust-building exercises. Get her moving. Let her feel something other than fear. But remember, she won't cooperate easily. It'll take time. Leah, her hand still on the Mare's neck, nodded. We can work on that. Maybe we can take her for runs out in the pasture. Just let her run wild. But it's not just about running, Thompson interjected. You need to bond with her. Calm her mind. Make her feel that she's safe with you two as her guardians. Marcus glanced at Leah, who was studying the horse with such sincerity that he couldn't help but feel what they needed was possible. Okay. We'll give her that. We'll give her a reason to trust us, he promised, determination rendering his fear insignificant. As Mr. Thompson started to walk away, he called back, and remember, watch for signs. Every fleeting moment of connection is crucial. Leah stepped forward, her resolve strong. We'll bring her back to life. The Mare lifted her head, her ears pricked forward as if she understood every word. Leah led her towards the open pasture while Marcus stayed close, ready to catch any signs of fear. As Leah attached the lead, she whispered soft assurances. Just a little bit of trust, that's all we need. They walked at a slow pace, the girl and the horse, while Marcus followed, an electric mix of hope and uncertainty coursing through him. He could feel the weight of their shared mission, yet there was a flicker of something new in Leah's demeanor, a fierce light ignited by purpose. Once inside the pasture, Leah released the lead. Go on, she urged softly. Run. The Mare stood there for a moment, uncertain. Then, as if the words had ignited something deep inside, she took off, racing across the green expanse, her mane flying in the wind. Marcus and Leah watched, their hearts pounding. She's beautiful. Leah's voice was barely above a whisper, but it carried thunderous emotion. Look at her go. Marcus exclaimed, breaking into a grin. It felt as though they hadn't just let a horse free, they had unleashed a part of themselves. Not just the Mare. Every moment spent in fear, in uncertainty, in doubt, was beginning to slip away. But then the unexpected happened. Mid-gallop, the Mare suddenly skidded to a stop. Her body tense, she turned sharply, eyes wide with agitation. Fear had gripped her once more. Leah froze, her eyes darting between the horse and Marcus. Maybe she saw something? Marcus suggested, his voice low and cautious. I don't know. Leah's breath was shaky as she took a careful step forward. It's like she's lost in that past. Without hesitation, Marcus stepped beside her, ready to face whatever shadow haunted the Mare. We won't let anything hurt her, he declared, his conviction strong. Suddenly, from a distance, they heard a sharp crack of a branch breaking echoed through the field. The mare reared back, fear flooding her eyes again. Let us back off, Leah. Marcus urged, instinctively guiding her away from the startled horse, heart racing as he looked for the source of the noise. But before they could react, a muddy brown figure dashed through the trees, jumping into sighted deer, spooked by their presence. The mare took another hesitant step forward, then locked eyes with the creature, simultaneously intrigued and terrified. Marcus looked at Leah, the moment hanging tight between them. She's scared again. I thought we were making progress. There's more to uncover, Leah replied, determination hardening her gaze. It's just the beginning. But Marcus felt the pressure of it all tighten in his chest. He silently questioned if they'd ever reach the heart of the mare's pain or their own. As the deer bounded away, the wide-eyed mare remained frozen in place, the shadows of the past clinging around her like a shroud. The silent understanding passed between Marcus and Leah. They had a long road ahead, filled with more leaps into the unknown. Would their bond be strong enough to face the darkness yet to come? Leah took a deep breath, her chest rising and falling as she worked to steady herself. The mare was still on edge, nostrils flaring as she scanned the pasture. Leah could feel the energy shifting in the air, palpable and thick with the weight of untold stories. "See on, girl," she coaxed softly, trying to mask her own worry. "It's just a deer. Nothing to be scared of." But the mare remained tense, muscles taut under her glossy coat. Leah felt a pang of empathy, the kind that lodged deep in her heart. She knew all too well what it was like to feel trapped by fear, wrapped tightly in its cold embrace. But just as she was about to reach the mare, she hesitated, awareness washing over her. "Marcus, let's try something different." He turned to her, eyebrows raised in curiosity. "What do you have in mind?" Let us try approaching her from the side. A calmer, less direct approach. Horses are prey animals, and this might help her feel less threatened. Marcus nodded, appreciative of Leah's insight. They positioned themselves a few feet to the left of the mare, taking slow, measured steps. Leah whispered reassuring words, letting the softness of her voice float through the air. "You're safe. We're here for you." Gradually, the mare's stance relaxed, though shadows flickered in her eyes. Leah kept her gaze steady, and as they drew nearer, the mare made a tentative move, a cautious step forward. Leah felt Marcus' excitement radiate beside her, a warm glow against the heaviness lingering within her. Suddenly, without warning, the mare let out a powerful whinny, as if releasing years of pent-up fear. It resonated through the pasture, and for a moment, everything froze. The chirping of birds faded, the breeze stilled, and even the trees seemed to hold their breath. Marcus and Leah exchanged glances laden with concern. "What was that?" Marcus whispered, not wanting to startle the mare further. "Maybe she's feeling overwhelmed?" Leah murmured, realizing just how deeply they were intertwined in this journey. It wasn't merely about the horse's fright, it was about their own fears, the shadows they each carried, bonded in this fight against the darkness. Just then, the mare began to back away again, but Leah refused to let her retreat. "No, don't go." With newfound boldness, she took a step forward, extending her hand gently. "I promise I won't hurt you." The mare hesitated, taking cautious breaths as she flirted with the edge of fear. Leah could almost see her weighing the options. Moments dragged slowly as the two creatures, one human and one horse, locked eyes. Leah willed her heart and spirit into that gaze, sending out unspoken promises of safety. With timid steps, the mare edged closer, curiosity winning over fear. Leah held her ground, heart racing, the warmth of hope igniting within her. "There you go, that's it," Leah whispered, her voice thick with emotion as she reached out. In that fleeting moment, the mare took a soft step forward, closing the distance between them. Leah's heart leapt. It felt monumental until suddenly, the mare whipped around again, her instincts overwhelming her as she bolted to the far side of the pasture. "No!" Leah cried out, but it was too late. The space between them felt cavernous, heavy with disappointment. "We were so close, don't give up," Marcus encouraged, his hand resting on her shoulder. "She just needs time. We'll keep trying." But as Leah watched the mare gallop away, fear once more eclipsing the light in her eyes, she felt a wave of doubt crash over her. Would they truly be able to break through the barriers that held the horse captive? They stood together, watching the wide expanse of the pasture engulf the mare once more, their hearts mingling hope with uncertainty. Then, as if sensing their desperation, the mare paused, looking back one last time before disappearing behind a thicket. "Is she gone for good?" Leah whispered, her voice strained. Marcus turned to her, determination glowing in his eyes. "Not if we reach her first." Suddenly, Leah's phone buzzed in her pocket, the sound breaking the tension. She fished it out, her breath catching as she read the message, a new lead on the mare's past, details hidden beneath layers of sorrow. "What if this changes everything?" she asked, excitement churning with anxiety. But little did they know, the path ahead would lead to unexpected revelations, forever altering their understanding of trust in each other. Would they have the strength to tackle what lay beneath, or would the secrets shatter the fragile connection they were trying to build? The sun hung high in the sky, bathing the pasture in warm golden light. Its rays danced across the grass, but Leah's heart felt heavy. She looked out toward the thicket where the mare had disappeared, her hope wavering like a flickering flame. "Leah?" Marcus's voice cut through her thoughts, full of warmth and determination. He was standing close, his eyes firm yet compassionate. "We'll reach her. I believe in you, and I believe in her." "What if we can't?" Leah whispered, fear creeping in. "What if we can't break this barrier between us and her, and what if it's too much for us?" Marcus stepped closer, taking her hands in his. "It's always going to be challenging. But that doesn't mean we give up. We've come too far." His words were rooted in truth, embodying the spirit of resilience that had always bound them as friends. Releasing a shaky breath, Leah nodded. "You're right. Let us be brave." With their hearts set, they turned back toward the barn, eager to explore the new information Leah had received. The moment they stepped inside the cool, shaded structure, they could feel a different kind of tension buzzing in the air, one stoked by curiosity and urgency. Leah pulled her phone from her pocket, scrolling through the message. "There's someone who knew this mare when she was a star, someone who could help us understand her wounds." The words danced in her mind, a glimmer of hope lighting the darkness. "Let us contact them," Marcus urged, a spark igniting in his eyes. Leah tapped on the screen, fingers trembling as she pushed send. "What if they don't respond?" Marcus touched her shoulder. "Then we'll find them. We won't let her down." Just as they were about to step outside, Leah's phone buzzed back to life, a reply bursting onto the screen. Her heart pounded with anticipation. Would this lead finally unlock the answers they needed? As she read through the message, emotions coursed through her. "They want to meet us tomorrow." There's so much to dig into about her training, the fears the mare experienced before she left. "See? We're on the right path," Marcus said, his enthusiasm infectious. Determination surged through Leah, and together they ventured back across the lush pasture, ready to face the mare once more. As they approached, Leah found the chestnut mare grazing peacefully, a comfortable distance away. "Look at her," Leah murmured. She's beginning to trust more each day. But as they stepped closer, Leah could see the tension still lurking beneath the surface, the shadows of the past closing in. "She still needs to know we're on her side," Leah added, crossing her arms protectively. "Let us work on that bond," Marcus replied, standing next to her. "Let us invite her in, just like we talked about." Nodding vigorously, Leah felt the tension ease just a little. "Okay, but this time let us be gentle and patient. As they approached the mare, Leah took her time, breathing slow and steady. "You're safe with us, girl," she whispered. The mare lifted her head, curiosity flaring in her dark eyes, ears flicking toward the soothing sound of Leah's voice. This was their chance. "Here we go, step by step," Marcus added softly, keeping his movements casual and unthreatening. Just breathe," Leah murmured, inching closer. They coiled the rope lightly, creating a gentle invitation instead of a choke. With a mixture of excitement and anxiety, Leah reached out her hand once more, her heart racing at the thought of connecting. When the mare hesitated, Leah paused. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you," she assured. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the mare stepped forward again, delicate and curious. She nuzzled Leah's hand lightly, her warm breath mingling with the soft morning air. Leah's heart soared, every doubt she held vanished like morning mist. "Yes. That's it." Marcus cheered, and they both laughed, the tension of the past moments lifting like a weight off their chests. Leah couldn't take her eyes off the mare. "Look at you, girl. You're stronger than you think." It was like a moving moment, a recognition, a release. Trust was dawning. With every day that passed, they embraced the challenges ahead, leaning into the healing journey, forging their bond deeper, not just with the mare, but with each other. As time went on, the urgency of the past faded, replaced by a collective harmony. They found a rhythm of joy in their work, fixing the mare's past while nurturing their own hearts. Each step taken was a testament to love, courage, and the healing power of connection. On the day of their meeting with the former trainer, Leah and Marcus stood side by side. They had come to understand that, through every challenge, they had found strength not only for the mare but for themselves, ready to face whatever lay ahead. As the sun dipped lower, casting golden hues through the trees, Leah grasped Marcus's hand tightly. "We're going to do this together, no matter what. Always." He grinned. With newfound determination in their hearts, they walked toward the horizon, a united front ready to face the journey awaiting them. And, in that moment, Leah realized the true adventure had only just begun. So, are you inspired? Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share.